been really interesting how the WEF has mutated, and we've got to restore trust in what they call the elites. And think about that in terms of a relationship. When somebody gets caught out in something, I'll change, I'll make a difference, I'll be what you want. But in reality, their heart hasn't changed. They've just got caught, and they don't like the fact they've got caught. And the WEF's got caught in so many ways that the word's getting out, it's got out. And so many people now are familiar with what they're doing and their agenda. So there's nothing coming out of them of contriteness. There's nothing coming out of them of humility. What's coming out of them is, we're 100% correct, we're just misunderstood. Self-righteousness, right? So we're the rulers of this world, we're rich, you're not, so you don't know anything about life, we do. We're your God, and you'll worship us. And what, you don't like that? You're having a bit of trouble with that? Well, let us show you that we're really worth your being worshipped. And it's funny to me that whatever happens even on a natural, like just a simple level of relationships goes up to really everything in life. And they say so much is based in the family, and it's true. A marriage. I don't believe most people have marriages, they have functional partnerships to get things done. A true marriage, there's no... Well, we won't get into marriage now. But here we are with the WEF and their self-righteousness. Yeah, we're so wonderful. Obviously, you're all mistaken because you don't see how wonderful we really are. And we are absolutely amazing. And you're just deceived because you've got people like Donald Trump that have come in and taken away from the shine of who we are. And again, no contriteness, no humility, no understanding that maybe everybody deserves a voice. We don't have to agree with people, but they have the right to be able to speak and be heard. And they're trying to take that right away from everybody. And I just think that in such a case, it's kind of like when it's psychopathic, really, isn't it? They're not able to see how we view them. And think about that in a relationship. It's when a guy or a girl gets caught in something they shouldn't be in. Now they're sorry they got caught, and they're coming across with, I'm really sorry, I'm going to change, I'm going to... Talk is cheap. It's funny to me that here's Larry Fink saying that we have to, be embracing and be better towards people, and then you see the Rebel News interview where Avi Yemeni is trying to talk to him on the street, and he's ignoring Avi, and Avi's like, well, where's the open dialogue? It's just all words to try to shove through. The other point that I'd bring out is when people like that in a relationship get hurt and they realise they got caught, they either go into protection mode and mutating mode. There's no real change of the heart. They're trying to learn what you want, learn your language so they can use it back on you. But when they realise that's not going to work, they get angry. And sometimes they get violent and dangerous. And I think we're looking at the WEF, we could say, well, we're winning. No, these men have got a lot of power, they've got a lot of money, a lot of influence. They've not stopped at all. And all they'll do is this will empower them to kick it up a level. We need to push this through harder. We need to get it done because... So with their words, they might be saying one thing, with their actions, they'll be doing another. What do? I think we continue on the path of saying, you know what, this journey is far from over. I think, as I've said for a couple of years now, the last weapon they have is to absolutely collapse the currency. And when they collapse, the currency has collapsed, but it's artificially propped up. When they pull the pin on it and we wake up one morning, and the currency's gone, like they did in Brazil. I think it was the Cruzario back in the 80s, maybe. Somebody that knows more might be able to tell me. Back in the 80s was the Cruzario. The people went to bed, they woke up the next day, it was the Real. When they complained, well, you want a country? Too bad, we know better. I think we're looking still at a currency collapse where they're going to just pull the pin on it all. And it's almost like a tantrum, it's almost like a payback. It's almost, we're going to show you. And when they do that, then they'll just bring in whatever they want, and digital and CBDCs and whatnot. But I would just, in my opinion, which, well, I'm not going to say opinion, the sense that I get is that this is far from over. And it's maybe a little reprieve where we can be a bit more faithful, a bit more disciplined, a bit more of a period of grace to prepare for what's coming, because when they pull the pin, people are just going to think about themselves. How am I going to eat? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to take care of my family? They're not going to be thinking about the WEF. So they've got a lot of dirty tricks up their sleeve, a lot of shots that they can still fire out of their gun. And I think we do well to continue to focus on community around us. And community not of doing deals, but of like spirit. People of like spirit. The WEF talks about how AI is going to be a better God and religion because AI is all about words. And if it's a religion of words, Noah Yuval Harari said, the WEF advisor, AI will do better. And I thought, well, that's actually true. But when you have a relationship with God, for me it's through Jesus Christ, I have that romantic movement of God, a divine romance, I call it, is the best thing I can liken it to, where I feel what the Godhead wants and vice versa. And you can't take that from someone. You can't teach that from someone. AI can't have that because romance is individual. My romance with God, my romance with a woman, you can't have the same. You've got to get your own. You have to have it your own way. And I think the fact that they are turning the heat up on organised religion, it's not really a bad thing in many ways, because it's going to drive people into understanding that what I need here is to walk the purity of who I am inside, the purity of who God has made me. I can surrender my life. For me, I surrender my life to Jesus. As I did that, I felt his love. I became his love. He became me. I became him. We merged. I like to say it's like coffee, you know, we're the beans and here's the water, and it goes through that coffee percolator. When you receive Jesus, is the water in the coffee or the coffee in the water? It becomes one. Could you separate it out? No, it's fused. And that's what it is when you have a relationship with the divine. When Jesus is in your life, you're walking as almost like coffee with him, right? And that's what, to me, is a very precious, intimate thing that nobody can take, nobody can change, nobody can define it. Friend, really, the love of God, and for me, I'd say the love of Jesus is real. And it's inviting a surrender. It's inviting us to acknowledge it and to say, yes, I surrender, even just a little bit, and see what you feel come back. That way, AI and the organised religion of words remains meaningless, and it's just more noise that we don't need to exist in. Keep going, keep preparing. I'm Scott Russell, and I can tell you now, there is hope, there is life, there is freedom, but it's in the spirit of who we are, really, in Christ Jesus. God bless.